So I was on my friend Amanda's podcast, and we were talking about how everything's kind of a cult, that most group affiliations are kind of culty, going back to our families of origin, to religious and spiritual groups, but also to like her son's schooling and a friend group of mine, and in political affiliations, you name it, they can get a little culty. And one of the hallmarks of cults, talked about in the book Uncultured by Daniela Young, and in the book Sapiens, where he talks about there being like a hacking of human behavior and a movement of coercive control. That's the hallmark. That coercive control works on us because at the root of everyone, this is just how we were brought up, this is a story just in the ether of our world, at least in, white colonialist culture, is a story of separation. Separation from God, separation from nature, and separation from one another. And that story, that implication is felt. It's a felt sense in the body of separation, of being kind of walled off from your own heart, your own gut, your own throat, your own chakras. And so we sense a sense of separation, and a cult, whether it's your family or your friend group, that is asking for you for a little bit of sacrifice in order to be part of the group, it's no big deal to that sense of sacrifice or that sense of separation. No problem. I'll do anything to feel that wholeness. So we go for this cheap substitute, this small group, instead of the big group, the big oneness that's right here that we can sense into any time, but nobody told us, nobody pointed the way. And so we buy in to belongingness, love, approval, attention, wholeness, a sense of peace in group affiliation versus in tapping into the wholeness of everything inside of ourselves, and therefore feeling like a sovereign individual. As a woman or man or person connected to the divine, connected to oneness, what game could be run on you? You can't buy it. You're not going to buy a small group affiliation when you've got the group affiliation. You don't care. You're not willing to sacrifice anything. There's no need for sacrifice in this world, in reality. In fact, God, nature, life sets it up that you don't sacrifice a thing. You only go for what you want. But none of us were brought up in that. None of us were brought up in unconditionally supportive environment in which we could naturally unfold our desires, our interests, our proclivities, and not feel that our belongingness would be taken away by the family, by the church, etc. Instead, we feel safe to just continue to explore. But that can only come not from external validation, but from an internal knowing that you aren't disconnected, that you are part of the group and the cult that would never ever kick you out for any reason. You're a member for life, for eternity.